What is up, chillers, and welcome to the Horror Live Streams Matter Show. Spooky season is over, and we're in that quiet post-Halloween period. So we thought we would liven things up with a brand new series where we would try and find out the answer to that age-old question: what is the best year in horror ever? Well, we're gonna take a bloody good crack at it. But before we get to that, it's customary to say hi to Pete. Hiya, mate. What's going on?
How are you doing? Oh, mate, I'll tell you what, I'm looking forward to this. You're right, things haven't been the same since Halloween, mate. I've been empty inside. I've been taking 2 or 3 showers a day, crying in the shower and that. Like that. There's something missing in my life. There's a void missing in my life, mate. So to get back on with your good self, mate, and start talking about some horror movies again is, good, mate. I'm really pleased to be here, but...
That's awesome, mate. It's good to have you back. Yeah, this bit of time after Halloween, like, everything's just like there's like a lull, isn't there? And it lasts for a really long time. Everything's really excited during like Halloween season. So exciting, lots of things happening, and then like all the interest just goes down on everything. So,
that's it. I mean, it was a new movie dropping literally what seemed like every day. You know, new movie, and then boom, 1st of November, nothing. You know, tumbleweeds. So, listen, I enjoyed a couple of days break of not having to watch, you know, kind of movies that I wouldn't normally watch every single day. Well, after that, I was kind of, you know, just wondering when you were going to tap me on the shoulder and get me busy again, mate. So, hey, happy day.
It was a bit of a last minute thing, was organising this, but yeah, man, let's have a crack at this.
Yes.
But yeah, man, speaking of movies, have you watched any horror films or any good films in the past week or 2 weeks? It's been 2 weeks since we've been on.
2 weeks. Yeah. 2 weeks. Quiet 2 weeks, but I did catch 2 Witches, which you'd seen before me. And I really enjoyed it, mate. I really enjoyed it. The witches in this movie are, you know, really mean-spirited. They remind me very much of the witches and kind of sorcery folk from the original Russian Night Watch. Had that kind of feeling to it. But I really liked it. That, you know, and you know, give me a sequel at the end. You know, to be continued. And I'm like, come on, I want the sequel. So that's a good thing. But you are absolutely right. Bassi sent me a text. After he'd watched this movie, and he went, the text just simply read, "Good movie, but there's a lot of gurning in this movie." And fucking Bassi wasn't lying. You know, every single opportunity, a witch is like that going, and, you know, there's some really
no CGI.
No CGI. It's just like, what shall I do, Mr. Director? What shall I do? Just look ugly. Okay. like that in the back. There's a lot of unsettling imagery where you know, kind of like the shadowy figures in the background, and then, you know, they'll emerge, and it'll just be like, You're like, what?
It works though. That's the thing. Most of the time, it really does work. Yeah,
it does work. It does work.
That movie,
yeah,
that was a recommended film. Well, speaking of the ones that you've watched. I've watched that you've just now watched. One of the ones have you watched that I haven't watched was Smile. I eventually got to see Smile, and
what did you think?
I liked it a lot, man. That movie is just my type of horror film, man. Just my type of horror film. It was like creepy. It got some good scares in there, good atmosphere in there. I enjoyed the story, and I had a proper good time with that film. The only bad thing I would say, well, it's not even a bad thing. It's like a slight criticism. It can't stretched out a little bit too long. You know, could have knocked a few minutes off there because it's almost 2 hours long. But other than that, great film, man. That's just exactly my type of like a good thrill ride horror film.
Yeah. There's some nice direction in there as well. There's some camera, you know, the cinematography is very nice. What the camera does, it's, you know, it's moving, it's spinning. It's a well-crafted movie. I think it's the most successful horror movie of this year so far. And I think it probably deserves to be. To be fair,
we get a sequel then, yeah.
Yeah, you never know. What did you think of the reveal at the end? And I won't spoil anything. But what did you think? Did you like it? I really liked it.
I like. Yeah, it kind of reminded me of that big thing, like creature thing. Reminded me of Barbarian. The reveal in Barbarian.
Yeah.
Similar. But it was actually quite scary at times, and I had me jumping a few times. Like I was like proper in the spirit of the movie. Yeah, it was. I don't know. A lot of people said it was
that little boy.
Say again.
Did you laugh at the little boy a lot? I laughed a lot at the little boy. You know, his birthday party and that where he opens.
All right, yeah. Never mind.
He gets it tight, right?
Then he does lie.
No, I'm pleased you like that one.
Yeah, totally, man. Okay, there's a couple of the movies I've seen, and but I couldn't got the comments. I don't want to get left behind. Okay. Right. Hassan says hello. Hi, mate.
Hello.
Hello, Dave. I'm glad you're here in whatever capacity you got here. I'm really happy you're here, mate. All right, matey. Hey, Dave.
Fifth Beatle.
Getting ready to start watching some Christmas movies.
Yeah.
Christmas horror movies or just Christmas movies? Yeah, I've noticed that on the torrent sites I've come. It's all those like Hallmark Christmas films that just popping up everywhere, aren't they? I'm like, not my cup of tea, mate. Not my cup of tea. I'm staying away from them.
No, totally. I mean, it's everywhere. I mean, for me, you know, we shouldn't really be talking about Christmas until at least December the 1st. You know, at a minimum.
Well, I agree.
But, you know, every other advert on TV now is Christmas and stuff like that.
Cannot get away from it. Absolutely, yeah. Hi, Garth, mate. Nice to see you. All right, you watched Deadstream and The Lair, and I know which one you like the most because one's good and one's not good.
I love Deadstream, but I've not seen The Lair yet, mate. But I've kind of planning on skipping it after what you said about it.
I would skip it. Dave says nothing horror related, but I've been rewatching the 70s sitcom Welcome Back, Kotter for free online. Movies 2K. That must be a very American show because I've not heard of that.
No, not me.
Have you heard of that, Pete? No. Every episode. It must be good.
I was going to ask, where did Kotter go? Where did it go?
The Mike says Smile was solid but unspectacular. You know, I thought it was like a crowd pleaser. I watched it with my wife and she enjoyed it as well. Like more than the masterpiece Halloween Ends. Well, there you go.
Don't get me started.
I'm glad it's fading away now, isn't it? The memory of Halloween Ends, thankfully. I haven't watched Smile yet, but might soonish for free online. Yeah, go for it, man. Speaking of the wife, hi babe. Right, mate. So, what else did I watch? I watched Run, Sweetheart, Run, which you recommended, mate. Did you watch it?
I watched it as well. Yeah.
What did you think?
Do you know what? I was pleasantly surprised for an Amazon Prime movie. You know, the runtime skipped over quite nicely. I thought some of the gore was quite effective. You know, it's a very kind of, you know, men are bad type of movie. So as a man watching it, it kind of alienates its audience a little bit. But you know, I'm all for that. I was getting kind of End of Day, you know, kind of Gabriel Byrne End of Day vibes off the guy a little bit. I liked it, mate.
It didn't feel much like a horror film until like halfway through. Yeah,
Yeah,
it just felt like he was just chasing him until like halfway through, and then he
exactly. I mean,
himself.
The camera pans away, or you don't see a lot of the action in this movie, which, you know, sometimes it works, sometimes it's more effective than other times. So, you know, I was wondering, is there something supernatural going on? There has to be. And then obviously, you know, what happens in the movie. But I thought it was pretty, it was bonkers. And it was, you know, the guy who plays the bad guy, I thought he did a decent enough job. I didn't like him. He was pretty unlikable. And, you know, the main girl, you know, even though it's probably the most feminist movie I think I've watched this year, she's, you know, it didn't stop me from, you know, thinking to myself, she's stunning, like, she's all right. So I know I shouldn't have been ogling her, but I was ogling her. But hey ho.
Yeah.
But no,
I thought it was fine. It was acceptable. A one time watch.
Yeah. It was, you know, it was all right.
Ricky, all right, Ricky man, how you doing? What would happen if Garrett was live with you? I'd bring him right on. Anyone can come on. They just have to say, "Let me on," and you're on, guys. You're on. Dave says, "Thanks to projectionist friend of I mention often, I got to see Blade Runner for free in the theaters. That was in 1982. My goodness.
I need a friend.
No, I knew Ricky wasn't gonna like Run, Sweetheart, Run. Yeah, he doesn't like that walk. Like, it rubs him the wrong way. It rubs him the wrong way. Yeah, more walk stuff. It was like super. Yeah, I didn't like the ending at all. Like, it was just stupid. I had enough. Yeah. I don't know. I can't say too much bad about it. Dave said, "Welcome back, Carter. It's kind of goofy, silly classroom type comedy." Okay, this is the show with the teacher and a few kids in the class who are a bunch of goofy troublemakers. Right on.
Okay.
Carter makes goofy jokes too. The teacher tells every episode it takes place in 70s Brooklyn, USA. There's my sis. How you doing? Dave says, nothing related, but during Halloween H20, that one big scene, most probably for the trailers, is how is he hanging up on the bar like Mitch Gaylord? I think that's a bit on Halloween H20 where he kind of just comes. Michael Myers comes down from the like.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I remember that. Yeah, he's on a wire. Eh? He's on a wire. He's on a wire.
Yeah. Okay. I watched what the thing I've been waiting to watch for bloody years and years. It was announced after the first It came out in 2017. Was the Pennywise story of It. So that finally dropped where I could watch it, and it was good. I'm happy I saw it. It was really, really interesting. Probably won't watch it again. But yeah, it was nice. It was like a good, like, nostalgic trip.
I watched that too, mate.
1998.
Yeah, I watched that too, and I thought it was nice. It was very interesting. Everyone seemed to have a real blast who was involved in the film. There was no real, you know, horror stories or anything like that. And, you know, the biggest takeaway for me from the documentary is just how much of a legend Tim Curry is. You know, I mean, during that documentary, he's obviously his health's starting to deteriorate. It's a lot worse. You know, it got a lot worse, right enough. But yeah, he's a total legend. You know, and you look back at some of the torture that boy's been through in his career. You know, Rob Botton's made up by Rob Botton for Legend, and all that makeup and prosthetics that he got. He got put in, and he still manages to pull off awesome performances. He's a total legend. But yeah, so they don't make him like that anymore. Like
he's my favorite thing in Legend. He's my favorite thing in that movie.
Me too.
It's not like the best movie ever, but every time he comes on screen in that movie, he's like, that's like the best looking devil I've ever seen in my whole life.
100%. It's never been done better. Absolutely. I'll tell you what, Bastard, I've been watching the odd episode of Cabinet of Curiosity, the Del Toro thing. I've only watched a couple so far.
I haven't started watching it yet. Go on.
I would definitely recommend checking out episode 3 called The Author. it's actually bloody scary. I would skip to that one, mate. Go straight there for your horror fix. It's actually quite scary. It reminded me a lot of. Do you remember that show, The Outsider, that was on recently? The Stephen King adaptation. It was really good, but it couldn't quite stick the landing.
Yeah. That was interesting.
So I would check out episode 3, The Autopsy. Oh, and I finally got finished blooming Dahmer. I finally finished the series Dahmer, all like 10, 12 episodes or whatever it was. It's weird because, that shit could have been done in 3 or 4 episodes, It then turns into a bit of a soap drama, you know what I mean? With let's do an episode based on The Neighbour. And I'm like, I don't want a fucking episode based on The Neighbour, man. You know what I mean? I'll never rest. I'll never rest till they build this memorial park. I'll never rest. And guess what? She rests, and they never build the memorial park. I was like, fucking an hour? I want my hour back. So,
they could have stretched out far too long. Yeah, definitely stretched out.
Although I'm hearing that Netflix have just given the go-ahead for 2 more seasons. Now, I don't know if it's going to be a different serial killer every time. They've just given a go-ahead for 2 more seasons. It's got to be. It's got to be. So we'll see what that's all about right enough. But I finally finished that. And I tell you what else I've been doing, mate. Because we've done a lot of movie watching, I've just been gaming a little bit as well. I forgot that I had a PlayStation, so I jumped back on there, and I am currently playing Resident Evil: The Village again, and trying to catch up with that. I really want to buy God of War, but I'm going to wait for Santa Claus to come. Santa can bring me that. That's it, mate. That's all I've been doing.
Yeah. Right, so we get just before we get on to the main event, I've been wanting to watch that movie just dropped, Bruce Willis's last movie with John Travolta. I watched that last night, and it was all right. It was okay. He wasn't in it very much. Neither was John Travolta, to be honest. But, I was hoping for he was going to go out with a bang, because it's his last movie role. I thought he was going to go out with a bang, but he didn't really. It wasn't his movie. It was like some of the guy who plays his son. That he was the main character in it, and I thought
the 2 guys on the poster and in the movie.
And it's not even really an action film. It's not really an action film. It's more like a thriller type thing set in Hawaii. So it was like, I don't know. And it was directed by Chuck Russell as well, who did Dream Warriors and The Blob, and and he made Eraser as well, which is a really decent action movie. But this one was a bit more low budget than Eraser. But anyway. If you see it around, I suppose it's worth a watch. But I was going on my phone quite a few times. It just wasn't holding my interest very much. But as a curiosity, because it's the last movie, might be worth checking out.
Well, listen, you
can see the standings a lot.
I was just going to say,
he wasn't in it all the time. He had standings, pretending to be Bruce Willis. But, go ahead.
I'm just saying it's a bloody shame, Bruce will be missed, but as a tribute to Bruce Willis, never forget, fast. Never forget.
All right, nice one. I'm glad I brought it up now.
Exactly. That's a link to my t-shirt.
Nice. Excellent. Yeah, man. And the only other decent film I saw was Mel Gibson one that just come out. It was called On the Line, where he plays like a radio host, like a shock jock. And gets a call from a guy who says, "I've got your kids, your wife and your kids, and I've put bombs in the building, and you've done me wrong, and you have to go through this game, play this game with me, or we're gonna kill your kids and blow your thing." Anyway, it's good. And Mel Gibson is actually like the main guy in the movie. If you like Mel Gibson, he's all over that movie, being really cool, and it's got a nice twist at the end as well. So obviously like a low budget movie, but it was. I enjoyed that one. So that's got On the Line, Mel Gibson. Yeah, because he's made a few dodgy movies lately. He came back and he was doing some decent stuff. Now he's gone doing those, those throwaway movies that a lot of people are doing now. But this one was a goodie, man. It was a really good one.
He's probably getting Bruce Willis at gigs.
Probably. I wouldn't be surprised, mate. I wouldn't be surprised. Right. Okay. Is there any more comments? Dave says, like Mike Myers is hanging up on a bar by the ceiling, waiting all day for someone to come by, so he can sneak down like that, or snake down like that, like the aliens xenomorph can do it. It's a bit like that, isn't it?
Yeah.
Dave says I saw it in theaters, and that scene still confuses me. I saw that at the cinema as well. I had a great time watching that. During the Halloween stream, I meant to previous confusing. Yeah, no worries, mate. To mention the scene, yeah. Dave says I haven't seen the last 10 Bruce Willis movies yet. The ones I have seen of his semi-recent ones were feeling. Yeah, some of them, I've caught up on a few of them, and they're not all really bad, but some of them are pretty bad. You can never tell. That's the thing. You just assume it's going to be bad, but there are some that are not too bad. I couldn't tell you the names of them, to be honest, but there are some that aren't too bad. Right, guys. So what we're doing here is a throwback from last year during the Halloween month. I did a series where I would make tier lists for horror movies from a certain year, and I would rank those movies and devise a scoring system. And then after I ranked those movies, I could add up the scores and come out with a definitive number. And then I would pick up in the subsequent weeks, I would pick different years, and we could compare the scores at the end of those rankings of those years and find out what is the best year in horror. So I've just quickly got this thing here. Let me just... So last year I did 5 episodes, and we did 1985, 1981, 2016, 1986, and 1990. And after those 5 years, 1990 was in first place with 70 points after ranking all the movies from all those years. So there's plenty more years to do. So we're going to jump back into it, and I know Pete is a fan of lots of movies from 1982, so I decided to pick 1982 for this second season, first episode. So we're going to rank all the movies, horror films from 1982, using the same scoring system, and see what score we get at the end of it. Right.
Sounds good.
Your camera's going a bit weird there, Pete.
I know. I was having these problems before. I unplugged it, plugged it back in, and then I ended up hitting it, and it started to work a little bit. So I'm going to try and just hit it again a few times. The new camera as well.
Yeah. So I'm going to get this tier list.
Yeah.
And hopefully this is going to work out really, really well for us. Let's have a look. Present. Share screen. Share screen, is that right? Present.
Sorry about that.
Right, okay, so there is the tier list for 1982. Oh,
Okay.
I should have taken off those really adverts. Never mind. Let me just zoom in a little bit. Try and get rid of them adverts. There we go, that's better. Okay, let's have a look at these movies. Can you see this clearly, Pete? Because I can't really see the see my screen.
I can see it.
Can you see the movies there?
I can see it.
Yeah, awesome.
I can see them.
Great.
Yeah.
So we've got 50 odd movies there to rank. So we'll just start with the first, and we'll just go through them all. All these are 1982 horror films. We wouldn't have seen them all, but we'll go through, and I'm sure we've seen enough to get a good idea of how good a year this is. So
Yeah.
So all right, the scoring system there. Look, so S tier movies are like all-time classic movies. A tier movies, and they're worth 5 points. A tier movies are like excellent movies. They're 3 points. B tier movies are worth 2 points. They're like just very good movies. C movies are just decent films. They're worth 1 point. D rated movies are like just not very good, 0 points. And if they're absolute shite, they get a point taken off, -1. And the last one is not seen for all the ones we've not seen. So speaking of which, this first movie is called Invitation to Hell. Now, have you seen this movie called Invitation to Hell, Pete?
I have not, mate, but I can tell you it's about a young girl who attends a high school reunion, but when it's discovered that she's still a virgin, she is taken prisoner and planned to be used as a sacrifice in a druid ceremony. So I kind of wish I had seen it, but I haven't seen it. But...
Shall I tell you something funny, Pete? So when we decided to do this, I thought to myself, let's watch some movies from 1982 in the few days you've got between deciding to do this and actually tonight. So I was looking up Invitation to Hell and I saw it was on streaming. So I watched it, and then at the end of it, I just saw the title Invitation to Hell. So I looked it up, I watched it, and it was a Wes Craven TV movie called Invitation to Hell. And for some reason, I thought that was this movie. It's got the same title, and that's made in 1984. And I watched the whole movie. It wasn't bad. It's a TV movie. It wasn't actually that bad. Quite enjoyed it. And then at the end, it was like, it came up 1984, and I thought, I'm sure we're doing 1982. Did I get that wrong? And then I went back and thought, fuck me, that's the wrong film, dude. So I managed to watch that movie that I never would have otherwise watched. But yeah, so we haven't seen Invitation to Hell. But I can say that Wes Craven's Invitation to Hell from 1984, the TV movie, it ain't half bad. And if you get a chance to watch it, why not go see it? Because it's available on streaming. So yeah, never mind, eh? Right, so the next movie is Amityville 2, The Possession.
Ooh,
what do you think of that film, Pete?
Amityville 2, The Possession, mate, is my
no, sorry, there's another one there. Before, yeah, I'll do that one first. I'll do the next one afterwards.
Okay.
Yeah. Let's do Amityville 2 Possession first.
Amityville 2, mate, is my favourite Amityville movie. I'm a sucker for a possession story, but, you know, even when I was watching the Amityville Horror, the first one, you know, I like it. It's a good film, but I'm more interested in the story where the family gets murdered. You know, the family gets slaughtered. I was more interested in finding out about that. And this part 2 delivers the goods and then some on that. You know, it's got a fairly unflinching family massacre scene in there, as well as some really twisted kind of oddities in there and some good kind of makeup effects as well for its time. I've got a soft spot for this one, mate. So I would put this as, I'm going to put it down as very good. Very good.
Very good. You know what? I'll agree with you. I've got me Amityville 2 there. Is it there? Is it? You see it?
Nice.
Amityville 2. You know where I got that from, Pete? I know it's only DVD, but I got it from Poundland. You know, Poundland, they used to do, have like, for Halloween, they used to have like a whole range of Halloween films used to get in for Halloween season. Stopped doing that years ago, though, but picked that up there, and I remember seeing it. I thought, I'm gonna get that film. I used to like that film. But yeah, I'm a fan of that movie as well. I think it's a really well made film. It's got some cool little camera work there in that movie as well. Like because you don't see the thing that's possessing there, it just gets closer and closer, and then and goes all over the place, and then gets inside him. But I am a fan of that movie. The storyline.
I think we talked briefly on a previous stream about this one, but it was an Italian director who kind of went, you know, just off the grid a little bit. You know, it does feel a little bit, you know, European, this movie as well, right enough. But I told you that the initial cut that he handed in was very graphic, you know, including a full-on sex scene with the brother and the sister characters that kind of drove the test audience a little bit mad. So they cut it right down, you know, but apparently his original cut was one sick, twisted movie. I mean, it's still quite a sick, twisted movie, right enough, but it's an interesting film. It's an interesting oddity, Amityville 2, and I'm very...
It's a creepy-ass film, man. It's a creepy-ass film. I remember when I was a kid, the film used to scare the crap out of me. It's one of those movies where after you've watched it, you're like, if you need to go to the bathroom or something, you're like, I'm gonna go quick and get back to safety or whatever. But Amityville 2 used to scare me, man. As did the first one, to be honest. I always found the first one quite frightening as well. Although I think I do prefer the original Amityville to this one, but this is nice. This is a really, really good film. So yeah, man. So I think we're on the same page with Amityville 2. Let's see if anybody's got anything to say about Amityville 2. No. Where are we at there? Okay, yeah, we're here. Okay. Mike says I've got Dave from Savage Zombie Reviews on my channel at 11 p.m. tonight. Should be fun. Oh yeah, I think I saw the post for that. Yeah. 1990 did beat 1981. That was an upset, that mate. That was an upset.
Yeah.
But you know what really sells it is if you get lots of awesome ST movies in one particular year, and 1990 has got loads, man, loads. Like you have Tremors, Flatliners, Predator 2, Misery, Exorcist 3, Jacob's Ladder, just loads and loads of top quality movies. And
True.
Yeah, man. And 81 just had all the slashes, and some of them were very good, but a lot of them were just decent. So yeah, and yeah, so probably 1981. There's loads of more movies you would have heard of as well than 1990, but 1990 is killing it, man. That's my favorite year, by the way. That was my first year I did. I thought, can't beat 1990. I'm going to start with that, and nothing beat it. Dave says, yet another movie I got to see for free on theaters was The Entity, thanks to my friend projectionist back then. Yeah, I thought The Entity was going to be in 1982, but it wasn't made in 1982. I was expecting to see it there, but was it 83 or 81?
Mate, The Entity was made in 1982, man.
Is it?
Yeah.
Can you just check that up for us? Have I got it on my list?
Yeah,
maybe it's on my list. Let me just check. I need to know now. I did this a few days ago and I can't really remember.
Yeah, 100% 82, mate. It's listed on IMDb as 82 as well.
Is it? And have I not got it on here?
I don't think you have, but we can pretend you put it on. We can just talk about it.
We might have to. How can I not have The Entity on here? It definitely says 1982.
100%.
Next to The Entity.
Yeah.
How did I miss that, dude? To be fair, 1986, I missed out bloody Aliens as well. That didn't come up.
Okay.
So yeah, we'll definitely it's turned into Unfriended. Okay. That tier maker site is ad crazy, isn't it? I wish I'd on my computer. I've got an ad blocker on it, so obviously on my laptop here I don't. Don't know. Is it worth getting an ad blocker on Chrome? Should I do that? Should I not do that? I don't even know how to do it, mate.
Let's just crack on.
Okay, let's crack on, mate. Yeah. Okay. That's annoyed me, that though. Robbie says, hit the camera. What a technical solution. He's impressed with your technical prowess there, Pete. Is Robbie, yeah?
Exactly.
Dave says, I also get to see the movie for free in theaters back then called Mortuary, thanks to the same friend I had back then, the projectionist. I think I've seen. I'm trying to think. Have I seen Mortuary?
I think I've seen Mortuary. Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely sounds familiar. Dave says, I've not heard of that movie oddly enough either. Invitation to Hell. Yeah, me neither. I managed to put that on the list, but I forgot The Entity. I got to see Amityville 2 for free in theaters back then as well.
Dave, your bank account must be huge with all that money that you've saved from getting into the cinema over the years, man.
Man. And Creepshow and Poltergeist. Yeah, all these movies are coming up, man. As mentioned before at the time, I got to see Cat People and The Thing 82 in the drive-in, thanks to my dad. Yeah.
Nice.
I got to see Madman for free. Yeah, I remember you did mention that to me. Yes, it was 82, yeah. Blade Runner Sci-Fi, but I got to see that in theaters free too, yeah. Right, so let's get back on this. So we decided the possession is going to be so very good as B, Pete. Are you happy with B, or do you want to stick it on A? Is it excellent or is it just very good? I'm happy to stick it near that, Pete. I'll tell you.
Let's go for A. Yeah, let's go for A, mate. Because it's a movie that I've seen at least 10 times over the years. So it's got to be good for you to keep coming back like that.
Oh yeah. So we're going to stick that in here. Okay. And the next movie is Alone in the Dark. Have you seen Alone in the Dark yet, Pete?
I have, mate. Although I have to say, it was one of the movies that I crammed, 1982 movies that I crammed in the other night. But I did fall asleep in the last 15 minutes. But I saw the majority of I saw the majority of the movie.
How was it up to then?
Say again?
how was it up to then? Up to the when you fell asleep?
Yeah, I really liked it. I thought the cast was absolutely fantastic. Donald
Wasn't it though?
Pleasance
Totally,
kicking
man.
it. Aye. Yeah, Donald Pleasance, you got Jack Palance in there just chewing scenery and stuff like that. It was very atmospheric. I thought it was well shot. I liked it, mate. I'm going to go back and obviously I need to see how this thing ends. But, for me, I'm going to put this down as a good movie. Not a very good movie, but a good movie. Well, by the time I watch the ending, it might be a very good movie. But at the moment, it's a good quality movie. And it's one that, to be fair, shame on me, I didn't really know existed until I started watching movies for 1982.
I really like the atmosphere, the blackout, the atmosphere of it being a blackout. I really like that. I think they did it really, really well. I'm a fan of this movie. I only saw it a couple of years ago, and when I saw it, I was surprised how much I enjoyed it because I'm not a big fan of slashes, but this one really appealed to us. And you're right, the cast is just amazing. And had Howlin' Mad Murdoch from the A-Team in, and I like that guy.
Yeah,
I like him very much.
Exactly.
Yeah, had that guy from bloody the Running Man, Dynamo from the Running Man was in it.
That's right.
The big fat guy, football guy. Yeah,
that's right. I'm just trying to think. There's another kind of horror icon in there as well, but his name escapes me. But anyway, yeah. I mean, the cast was great. I thought the production was quite nice as well. It's one of them films that I'm surprised that I've not heard a hell of a lot more about over the years. You know what I mean? Given the cast, and it's quite nice to see these quite famous actors just shuffling about in a wee horror flick from 1982. You know what I mean?
They give the movie a bit of class, don't they? For sure, definitely give the movie a bit of class.
Definitely, mate. 100%. So I rank this as good. Good.
Well, I would rank it as very good, but I don't know. So, you want to put it in C then, Pete? I'll be happy to put it in
all
B,
the way
then.
through.
Yeah.
Well, listen, you've seen it all the way through.
Film.
So
yeah.
So B it is. Yeah. Okay.
All right, you're okay with that? Yeah, we can negotiate. If you're okay with that?
Yeah, no.
Fine, yeah,
I'm fine with it. You've seen, like I said, you've seen it all the way through.
So listen, before we get to the next one, since I've somehow managed to miss off the Entity, let's talk about the Entity, dude. I'm a huge fan of that movie.
Me too. I mean, this is an S tier movie for me, mate. It's probably going to be in my top 3 of 1982. I think it's a great film. It's a movie that I can still watch today. It's very,
scary.
very unsettling. It's fucking scary, mate. I think Martin Scorsese ranked it as one of his top 10 horror movies of all time. So, if Scorsese likes it, how can we be wrong? It's great. The only criticism I have of this movie is it can't stick the landing. The landing's a little, the ending, is a little bit bland. It doesn't work. You go from these claustrophobic little scenes of Barbara Hershey getting, messed with, really scary, really effective, then to, her running about in the gym getting chased by a big fog machine.
That was it. It's just a weird green foggy thing, isn't it? Yeah. I think it's a very, very underrated film. This.
Yeah, so definitely. I'm still going to give it S tier for me, man. That one for sure.
I remember that's our S tier movie in there. So we've actually got two. That's our first S tier movie is going to be The Entity. We'll remember we've done that.
Yeah.
Okay, the next movie on the list is called A Stranger Is Watching. Oh, I have not seen that movie. What about you, Pete?
I have not seen this one, mate. No. And to be honest,
it
was one that I couldn't really find as well.
Right, so that's not seen. And the next one is Basket Case, which we just watched last month, both of us.
We just watched last month.
So we don't really.
I had a really good time.
It's a nice surprise, wasn't it?
Yeah, I'm going to put Basket Case for me is a very good film, mate. Not quite S tier, but it's very good for me. It's a blast. What they did on that budget was absolutely sublime. I thought it's got horror in its veins, but the comedy there is brilliant as well. It's a movie that I'll be going back to watch again for sure.
So what do you think, B or C then? It's up to you. You decide. I think you like it
I'm
more
going
than
B
me.
for me, mate.
I do.
I'm going
Yeah,
B
no
for
worries.
me.
Yeah, I think you can also bear in mind, how classic the movie is, like how beloved it is, and I think you can, even if you don't personally like it as much as other people, I think if it's got like a certain reputation to it, I think you should factor that in when you rank these movies,
Okay.
just to keep it a bit
Yeah,
more
okay.
objective.
Fair
Yeah,
enough.
so yeah,
Yep.
I'm happy with that in B.
No problem.
Let's have a look here. The next movie is The Beast Within.
The Beast Within. Right. Do you know what, mate? One thing I noticed when doing a little bit of research in 1982, right? There are a lot of fucking rape films in 1982. There are a lot of films
Right,
where
yeah.
women get raped and give birth to either aliens, monsters, possessed dudes, whatever. There's fuckloads of them. And this is one of them, The Beast Within. It's a movie that I watched back in the VHS days, in yesteryear, and I think I've revisited once, maybe a couple of years ago. It doesn't hold up, but at the time in VHS times, I remember I did like it. The makeup was fun. You know, it's not so fun now. It just looks like big chunks of flesh going wow, wow, wow. I mean, that's it. Like,
it? It's just stretching, isn't it? Just stretching, yeah. It's weird, on the back of the VHS, it says transformation scenes comparable to that of The Howling and the Thing, and you read that and you go, nah, man, that's not right.
No, totally,
You wish,
totally.
you really wish.
It's one of those movies where the poster and the trailer is actually better than the content of the video.
I mean,
for me.
it's the best thing about the movie is this. Is this box art there, which is what I remember seeing in the video shop. I never watched it while I didn't watch it on VHS. It was just a few years ago I got it downloaded and watched after all these years, and it was okay. I thought it was decent, but that was with nothing else. Nothing more than that.
Yeah,
so
I'm going to give it a bang average, mate.
Yeah,
just
absolutely. Decent, yeah.
Absolutely. It's not offensive, but it's not great either.
Right, let's go. Yeah. So Beast Within goes into C for okay, just decent, pretty good. Yeah. And the next movie is Butcher Baker Nightmare Maker. Have you seen that film, Pete?
I saw this film the other night. This is the reason why I fell asleep to Alone in the Dark, because I just watched Butcher Baker Nightmare Maker for the first time.
Bonkers film. This isn't it, Pete? It's bonkers, isn't
it? What a bonkers film this is, mate! Right? What a bonkers film this is. The violence.
It's the man with bonkers. It's the man crazy.
Yeah. The violence hits home. You know, the car crash, the big wooden post going through the head. Oosh! It hurts. You can feel it. But that ant. I mean, the weird thing was, mate, right? It was comedy because, let's face it, the woman who plays the ant / mother isn't the best. Aye. She isn't the best actress in the world, and when she starts the movie off, she's supposed to be like this seductive aunt and that, and the TV repairman's in, and she just comes up and lifts the skirt and goes, "I need a man," and he goes, "I'm not going to be that man," and she's going, "But I'll let you do anything you want to me." Like, I go, what the hell? And then, for reasons unknown, halfway through the movie, she cuts her hair, and then she just wanders about the place like fucking Norman Wisdom. Like that goes, that's her acting all the way through the movie. Like that. Bonkers, mate. It was absolutely bonkers. I liked it a lot, but it was bonkers. Yeah. It's not a good movie, but it is a good movie. I don't get it, mate. So I'm going to put this as good, but more for comedy, man. This movie's a comedy. But like I said, the violence does hit home. When it gets violent, it is pretty violent.
Right, there's another one there for C. And the next film is Cat People. Now, I mean, I hadn't seen this movie for years. I have seen it, but I remember it was okay. But it's been so long since I've seen it. Can you remember anything about the film?
I saw it on TV years ago, mate, and all I remember is it Malcolm McDowell trying to have sex with his sister or something, or something like that. To lift a curse or something like that. He's got a bone his sister. It's something like that, man. I don't remember being impressed with it, mate. I remember being a kid and expecting some kind of werewolf type movie.
Yeah, that's what you wanted, isn't it?
Yeah, and I didn't get it. So I do remember, is it Ed Bengley Jr. getting his arm ripped off by a panther in one scene? That was good. But I'm going to give this. I'm going to give this average, mate. To be fair, average.
Yeah. I was thinking the same. Yeah. Might have given an extra point for Natasha Kinski because she's gorgeous, but let's stick it in the decent because I remember.
That poster again. That poster's mint. It's mint.
Yeah. Don't make them like that anymore. Right, and the next movie is Creepshow, Pete.
Right. Creepshow for me, mate, is I've seen it countless times. I love Creepshow. If it's got a weak spot, if there's a weak point to it, it's probably Stephen King's section. Is it the lonesome death of so and so? But all the others are absolute winners for me.
That one's still good. Still good, that one, isn't it?
It's still good.
It's depressing at the end, but it is still good.
Yeah. I mean, it's got some iconic stuff. I mean, some proper nightmare fodder. I remember the crate really affected me when I was a kid.
Yeah, that's my favorite one. Is that your favorite?
And all that business. Yeah, and it's got that Exorcist eyes bit at the moment when he peers in the crate and he sees the animal blooming yellow eyes and that. So I'm going to give this. You might disagree, mate, but it's an S tier for me. Like, I think it's a classic. Yeah.
I 100% agree with that, Pete. I wouldn't have it anywhere else.
Nice.
So we've got 2 S tier movies, Creepshow and The Invisible Entity there.
Yeah.
Because the entity is invisible, so maybe you should have had some green fog there in the middle there. Right. And the next movie is Deadly Eyes, which I think is probably about rats, giant rats, maybe.
I think it's about giant rats, mate, but I've not seen this one, buddy.
Me neither, Pete. Let's stick that in there. And the next one is called Deadly Games. You ever heard of that, Pete?
Never, mate. I haven't. I've not seen this one. Deadly Games. I'm gonna look it up now.
Yeah.
Games.
Stick that in there as well.
It's got a 3.9 out of 10 on IMDb. A woman falls to her death after getting attacked by a black-clad assailant. Her sister arrives in town and starts dating a police detective who's friends with a strange movie creator. Okay, sounds fantastic, mate. Yeah. I'm not seeing that one yet.
Let's put down the not seen, yeah. Well, that's great. I've just changed the zooming in and now the adverts have gone. That's great. I'm happy about that. Nice one. Right, the next movie is called Death Screamed, another movie I've not seen, Pete. Yourself?
I've not seen it, mate. I've not seen this one
they all have really nice poster art though, but I've not seen the movies.
Yeah.
It's
a small
not
town
one I've heard of either.
A group of friends are stalked by a mysterious machete-wielding maniac. So there's a machete killer in this, so it's a slasher. I'm just watching the trailer right now, and it looks pretty bloody, to be fair, mate. Might be worth a watch, this one.
Awesome. Right, that was Death Dreams, and we haven't seen that. And the next one is Death Trap. Do you know what movie that is, Pete?
Mate, I recognise this title, and I'm just looking it up now.
It's got Christopher Reeve and Michael Caine in it. It's like I think it's based on a play. I have seen it. I saw it on TV years ago.
On TV, yeah, I've seen this, mate. I remember it's kind of a cat and mouse type movie. I remember liking it, mate. Yeah.
You don't know.
A Broadway playwright puts murder in his plan to take credit for a student's play. Right, I have seen this. Yeah, I'm gonna rank this as a good little film, mate. So I'm good.
Yeah, me too, man. Me too. It is. I was thinking, should I put it in here or not put it in here? But I remember watching it, and I think it does play like a horror film in places. And it's nice to see Christopher Reeve as a baddie as well, which is good.
Yeah.
So we'll sit that in C as a decent film because it is a decent film. I might revisit that one sometime, Pete. I remember
that's a good show, actually.
Yeah. The next movie is Fair Game, and they all look fair game to me.
Yeah, I've not seen this one, mate. And to be honest with you,
Cindy Crawford's in there. I don't think so. I don't think Cindy Crawford's in there.
No. Do you know how many movies there is called Fair Game? I'm just trying to look it up now, mate, and there's countless other movies called Fair Game.
All about the pictures, Fair Game with Cindy Crawford and William Baldwin. I saw that in the pictures. I don't know why. Just,
Well,
but I do know why.
I know why.
I do know why. Now I mention, I do know why. let's not dwell on that. But yeah, I figure neither of us have seen that movie. And the next one is Forbidden World. Don't know, man.
I have not seen this one, mate. I know that video cover though. I've seen it in the video shop. It was just something that never really floated my boat.
All right. Well, I'm sure you've heard of this one, Pete. Friday the 13th, Part 3, 3D.
Yeah. Watched it a couple of times just the other week.
How'd you rate that?
I like this movie, mate. It's a big, dumb, stupid slasher film with big, dumb, stupid 3D effects in it. It's not the greatest Friday the 13th movie, but it's not the worst either. I'm gonna give this a good. It's better than average, but it's not a great film.
It's good, not even a very good.
Nah. I'm gonna give it a good film. Yeah. Right. A very good would be a New Blood. And excellent or S tier would be Jason Lives for me. This is just good. Good.
Yeah. Do you mean A New Beginning? Is it? This is Part 7. You're talking about Part 7, aren't you?
Yeah, a New Blood. Blood is Part 7, isn't it? So New Blood, I would say.
New Beginning is Part 5, isn't it? I always get them two mixed up. Mixed with the word new in it.
Yeah. So a New Blood Part 7 would be a very good Friday the 13th. S tier would be Jason Lives, but this for me just sits as good.
Right, yeah. I'll go along with that, Pete. 100%. Still not seen it in 3D, and I really want to.
Yeah, me too. To be fair.
All right, so that goes in C.
Yeah.
And next one, Pete, is Halloween 3: Season of the Witch, which you've also just watched a couple of weeks ago.
You know me, mate. I'm not going to rant on about this movie, but I fucking love this movie. It's an S tier all day long for me. It's an absolute classic. I've seen it absolutely a bunch of times, and I'll be seeing it a bunch more before I cark it and leave this planet.
Well, let's not waste time. Let's stick it where it belongs, eh?
Definitely.
Right up in S tier. And the next one is, was that say Hospital Massacre?
Hospital Massacre. I've not seen this one, buddy.
No, me neither. Yeah, you can tell the ones we haven't seen are the ones that haven't even heard of them. I mean, the last 5 in the not seen there, I've not even heard of them.
Yeah.
But and the next one is Humongous.
Yeah.
I actually looked for this movie. I couldn't find it anywhere. I was thinking about watching this one.
I've seen this one, mate.
Have you?
Years ago. I've seen this one. Yeah. And it's another movie that starts with quite a graphic rape scene. And I think they kill the rapist, but the lady gives birth to some kind of deformed kid. And then it flashes forward all these years later, and this deformed kid's actually fucking kind of almost guarding this island. I think that's the general gist of it. It's not a very good movie. It's not a very good movie, unfortunately, mate. I'm going to say this is average. It's average. It's not shite. It's just not very good. So this is bang average.
It's not very good. It should be in D then, Pete. It's not very good.
Okay, let's put it in D then.
Yeah, it needs to be in D.
Nil point. That sounds right.
Yeah. And the next one is Jaws of Satan.
Never heard of it yet.
No, me neither. Stick that in the not seen. And the next one is Madman, which I've seen. I'm sure you've seen it as well.
Yeah, I've seen it. I've seen it on Shudder. I kind of like this movie, mate.
Me too, man.
Yeah, it's
Madman Mars.
Yeah. It's I'm gonna put it as. Is it very good or is it good? I'm just gonna go good, mate. It's a good film. It's a good film. I enjoyed it.
Just on the basis of the poster art, I would stick it in very good, but the movie itself, I would just stick it in decent. So that'll go in C for decent. Yeah, that's another one that's got pretty decent atmosphere. The campfire sort of atmosphere. How it starts off, but some of the acting is not so hot in the movie.
Yeah, because I think there's I might have got this wrong, but I remember watching Madman. And I'm sure I remember thinking there's quite a few parallels with other slashers like The Burn and that kind of thing.
Yeah, I think it was based on the
reminded me
Legend of
of-
Cropsey, wasn't it? It was based on the Legend of
Yeah,
Cropsey.
right,
Changed
okay.
it to the burning. Yeah.
That's fair.
And the next one is Manhattan Baby, Lucio Fulci. I've heard of this one, but I've not seen it.
I've
You,
not
Pete?
seen it, buddy. No,
No.
I haven't seen it.
If anyone's seen that in the comments, in the chat, let us know, isn't it? And let us know if you want us to stick it in one of these in a different ranking. We can definitely take your guys' views into account. The next movie is Midnight.
I've not seen this yet.
Nah,
No.
stick that there. And the next one is the New York Ripper. I'm sure I've seen the New York Ripper, Pete. That's another Lucio Fulci. Have you seen it?
Yeah, I think I've seen it years and years ago. I remember it being very sleazy, very grimy. I think some poor. It's very violent. I think some poor lady gets something cut off in one scene, which is kind of makes you wince a little bit. And there's lots of nasty cutting, and I think someone gets cut in the eye as well. I'm not a fan of people getting cut in the eyes, right enough. Listen, I just didn't like this movie, mate. I don't think, because it was too greasy and too grimy and too nasty. It wasn't pleasant. I felt like I needed a shower after I finished watching it. So I'm going to say, well, that's just my personal preference. I'm sure people love this movie.
Well, I'll take that from you, mate, because I've seen it and I've really got no memory of it at all. So, anyway, let's check out a few comments before we carry on. But it looks like that's going to go in D. So Dave says, when I saw the entity in the theaters, I didn't realize it was a real book at the time based on actual real events. Yeah, that makes it even scarier, the fact that it's based on true events, apparently. So yeah, I give the movie Entity an 8 out of 5. 8.5 out of Boosty 10. Absolutely. Maybe actually a 9. There you go. Dave says, I've not seen A Stranger's Calling either, oddly so. Yeah, Stranger's Calling. The Beast Within, I haven't seen in a long time. I actually had the book and read it also as well. It was kind of like a Werewolf knockoff, I think. So, kind of. I'll put Beast Within at the C level. Oh, at the C level, just because I can't remember all of it at the top of my head at this moment. Yeah. Just it doesn't do it. Just doesn't do it very well. Whatever it's trying to do, it just doesn't do it very, very, very well.
Yeah.
But I'm happy it's there just for the poster art. 7.5 out of Boosty 10. That's a pretty good mark. That's higher than a C, that dude.
Holy.
Yeah, he said almost 2B. So for me, I'll put Creepshow and Poltergeist both A's. Silent Rage also 2. Well, we'll get to Silent Rage. We'll see. Cat people, I'll give a 7 out of Boosty 10 here. Here a C. Yeah, I'm sure some people really like that movie, but it doesn't play up the horror bit enough, in my opinion. That's what I remembered. I wanted a proper scary horror film with a, like you said, like a werewolf type creature, but it wasn't that at all, was it?
No, definitely.
Yeah, Boosty says Deadly Eyes, I give a C. 6 out of a Boosty 10. Should we put that in the C, Pete? Because we've not seen it.
If you've seen it and we've got a grade, let's do it.
So what was it called? Deadly Eyes. So Deadly Eyes is going to go to a C because someone's seen it, and that's what they said. So we'll go with that. Absolutely.
We believe you.
Thanks, Davey. Death Trap, I give it B minus, 6 out of a Boosty 10. Yeah, I definitely got to go back and watch that movie, man. So I remember liking it. Dave says, plus I hope I'm not commenting too much, guys. Sorry if it's a bad nature habit, mine. No worries, mate. Just get them all piled in. We like them. Dave says, I read the book. Oh, I missed that. I read the book and did a book report on it in my high school and got to see it in the theaters in 3D. Oh, I guess we're talking about Friday the 13th. I give it 8 out of 10. He was a B, yeah. I'm glad he's changing his Boosty scale for our letter scale. I like that for the ranking.
Yes.
Appreciate you doing that
like
for us, mate. Yeah, and Mike says, Madman is cheesy goodness. It is cheesy as fuck, yeah, it is. Yeah, Mike, yeah. H3, man, it's classic. If you don't like it, there's something wrong with you.
Totally.
Mike says, Hospital Massacre features one of the hottest girls in horror, Barbie Benton, I think. Cool, man. If you know how much, if you have a rating for that, mate, we can stick it up there for you, mate. No worries.
Absolutely.
So we can't, if we haven't seen it, we can't do nothing with it. So it's just going to get laid by the wayside. So
we need your input.
Yeah, if anyone's seen any of these not scenes, let us know. And whatever your recommendation is, we'll carry it, mate. We'll take it on. 2214 sci-fi movie lover. Great year in sci-fi fantasy as well. It totally was. Totally was. I'm hoping for good things from 1982.
Well, can I just mention that E.T. was also out in 82, and I fucking love E.T., man. I've got a total soft spot for E.T. Like, I know I'm not supposed to, because apparently if you love the Thing, you can't love E.T. because apparently E.T. killed the Thing. I don't really buy into that. Like, I love E.T. But anyway, let's get back to horror.
But you love the Thing more, man, Pete. Come on.
I do love the Thing more. Yeah, I do.
Yeah, if anyone wants to hop on, there's a link there. If you think you might have seen some of these movies that we might not have seen, because we haven't seen everything, obviously. Don't think anybody has, but yeah, would like a bit more extra input. If anyone's got it, you can just click on that link, and if you know who you are, you're not like some troll or something, you can hop on by. I think you can fit 3 people on this screen here. Yeah, man. Big smile. Yeah, that's right. Mike says Madman and The Burning are based on Cropsey. I think The Burning's a bit better though. David said, I kind of like Humongous. Humongous. For what? Why is it called Humongous?
Because the guy's humongous.
Oh, is he really big? Is he? Okay. I knew something was big. I just didn't know what it was.
It's not that funny,
for what it was, it's a Friday the 13th feeling knockoff at the time, so it's like a slasher film, yeah. Maybe a 6 out of a boosty 10. What is that? Have I just gone past that? San says both of us are enjoying the stream so far. It's very cool. Thanks, man. I think Hospital Massacre was 81. Can you check that for us, Pete? I don't like getting things wrong.
I'll check it.
I did use a couple of different sources for me dates of movies. Dave says, I'm trying to join in on the chat, but on the link for the studio, but it says clothes and other things. They are like bubbles or something, so I did close everything. Oh. Sorry, man. I don't know what's going on there.
I can't even find Hospital Massacre on IMDb, man.
Why don't you type in Hospital Massacre 1982, see if it comes up. Hospital Massacre is whatever the third highest rank is what?
Could it possibly be also known as X-Ray? Barbie Benton. Yeah,
yes.
Right, 1981, buddy.
Is it?
Yeah, 1981. It might have been re-released under the name Hospital Massacre in 82. You never know, but yeah, X-Ray 1981.
I blame Wikipedia for that. God damn it. Thanks, Mike, man. Appreciate that. Setting straight. Dave says it says the site can't ask for permission on the secondary screen. Don't know what to tell you, mate. I really don't know what
that means.
Sorry about that, dude. The link's in there again. You don't even want to try it again, Dave.
Yeah,
try it. Oh, is that what he was trying to press it in the chat?
I initially had problems, but then I downloaded Google Chrome, and I've been right ever since.
I always use Chrome now. Yeah, I used to be on Firefox, and nothing seemed to work right with Firefox. Madman Mars. Yeah, close enough. I just like the little song they used to sing. That was at the beginning of the movie. It's good. Dave says I literally got to also see Madman in the theaters for free too. It's called X-Ray as well. There you go. That's the one. Right. Okay. So that's one less movie we haven't seen. That's great. I'm happy about that.
One less movie.
Yeah. All right. Let's continue here. We've got. All right. So we're going to put that in D, won't we? New York River.
Yeah.
Sorry, Lucio. It's not one of your best. Cool poster though. Right. Next of kin, Pete. Now I've watched half of this movie, and I got so bored. I think it was Australian. I stopped watching it. I watched it on the just because of that poster there, on the strength of that poster.
Yeah.
I thought that was good, and I started watching it, and I got halfway through, and I thought this is rubbish, man. Have you seen it?
I've not seen this one, mate. In a rest home for elderly people, a daughter reads her mother's diary. Soon events that are mentioned in the mother's diary begin to happen to her. Sounds good. Good premise.
Yeah, I know some people do like this movie, but like I said, I think I've watched just over half, so I think that gives me. I'm allowed to rank the movie. I'm gonna put it in D because I didn't like it one little bit.
Yeah.
And the next movie is Night Beast with a cool looking monster there, but I've not seen the film.
I've not seen it, but today I did watch the trailer for Night Beast, and the trailer was fun. It looks like a whole lot of fun. This movie, it's one that I'll check. It looks really low budget. The monster looks absolutely terrible, but it looks proper comedy. So I'll be checking this one out, man.
Cool, man. The next one is One Dark Night, and I've seen this movie. This is the Tom McLaughlin film, and it's low budget, but it's really good. I think it's is it Meg Tilly? Meg Tilly's in it, I think. Have you seen it, Pete?
I don't think I have, mate. No, I don't think I have.
You should, yeah, you should check that movie out, Pete. It's a very decent film. Like it's got a good atmosphere to it, good scary atmosphere with it. A little bit slow, but it's like it's in its low budget, but it takes place in just a couple of locations, so it does well with what it's got. And you know, Tom McLaughlin, he knows how to direct.
Yeah, so, definitely. Well, the trailer's on here, and it looks quite nicely shot as well. So yeah, I'll definitely give that a go, mate.
I'm going to put that in C because that's a good movie. That.
Okay.
And the next one is Panico. I think maybe just called Panic, and this is the different version of it. I've not seen that movie, Pete. Have you?
I've never even heard of this one, mate. To be fair, Panico.
Yeah, I've got a feeling I've put the same movie twice here, Pete. Parasite 3D. I'm guessing that's the same fucking movie.
I think that's the same movie. Yeah, I think that's the same movie, man.
Have you seen Parasite? Either?
I think I have seen Parasite, mate. I think I have, but like back in the day, I don't remember anything about it, so I probably can't really comment on it or anything like that. But it's certainly a movie that I've never gone back to. And it's certainly a movie that, like I said, I've got no memory of. But I'm going to say that it must be Catch. If that's the case, it must be a bore.
Well, let's not do it. Yeah, well, let's not do it down if we can't remember anything about it at all. Yeah, so we'll stick in not seeing because it's we can't remember anything about it. And the next one is Pieces, mate. Pieces. So what do you think of Pieces?
Yeah. It is what it is. It's a violent little movie. It's a fucking nuts little movie. The ending's just El Bizarro. Some of the acting's absolutely.
I've got a clip. Can I show a little clip? I've got a little clip. Let me just put this on.
Okay.
The lousy bastard was in there killing her.
Is he gonna play while I've got the thing?
Bastard! Bastard! Bastard!
That's brilliant. That's absolutely brilliant.
That's the acting in that movie. There you go.
Yeah. I'm going to give it average, mate. I'm going to give this. I'm going to give this a C.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, I wouldn't even put it in a C, but for you, I'll stick it in C. There's that one nice scene where she gets cut in half with the chainsaw that looks really realistic.
Yeah,
I think they used a pig or something when they did it, and that looks really good. But I'm not a fan of that movie. It's proper low budget, badly acted. But I'm sure there's some fun to be had. It's still going strong now, isn't it? People still talking about it. So yeah, maybe deserve to go in the C just for that. Oh, and the next one is Poltergeist, Pete. How much?
Straight up to the S tier. Yeah, straight up to the S tier.
Totally get in there straight away. Absolutely.
It's a great film that I'll go back to, and I'll keep on going back to it. It's scary, it's exciting, and it's fun, and it's everything a Poltergeist movie. I still get shivers when I watch this movie, and that there's so many great scenes. My favorite scene out of the whole movie is Joe Bess Williams running down the corridor in a 90, and the corridor just starts extending. That music going, fucking brilliant. Love it. It's S tier all day long for me, mate.
Yeah, totally, man. I 100% agree. This is just a brilliant film. I've never not liked this movie. It's one of the ones that's like you're guaranteed to have a good time watching this film, man. It throws so much at you, and there's so much in it, and it's man, and it's very emotional as well, isn't it? When you watch it, the family dynamic is it doesn't
You like
carry
the
as well
family,
on
you know what I mean?
into the second movie. On Poltergeist 2, the dynamic doesn't really work for me as well as it does in the
No.
first movie. But the first
No.
one, you can really feel like they want the little girl back, Caroline.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not a fan of any of the sequels at all. I would say, for me, you didn't need a sequel to a movie that absolutely throws everything on the screen. There's no requirement whatsoever for a sequel. But damn right, I waited for them to come out with bated breath when I was a young one, but they always left me a little flat. But the Poltergeist is it's a classic, like it's a masterpiece, like it's perfect cinema, is what it is. Perfect bubblegum cinema that also manages to really chill your bones as well.
Yeah, I think this might be the second best movie of 1982. I think, but we'll see. Like horror film. Yeah. And the next one is Q the Winged Serpent. You find that film?
I've seen this one, mate.
Yeah. As well.
But I
think it's on Movie Drome years and years ago. It was on Movie Drome with Alex Cox.
Yeah, I can't really remember much about it, mate. I remember thinking to myself, the movie's not a patch on the artwork. The poster and the cover and all that.
Yeah, you don't see any of that in the movie, do you? You don't see that.
None of that shit in the movie. But listen, I can't. It's probably unfair for me to give this a rating because I can't really remember it much, mate. But I remember being just underwhelmed that the movie didn't live up to the poster one little bit. Because remember, back in the day, we rented movies on the strength of the fucking artwork. You know what I mean? There was no internet back then or anything like that. There was no word of mouth. It was just the cover. If the cover looked cool, you were renting it. You know what I mean? Medusa Pictures, they did very well off that because they punted out some really substandard movies, but had great fucking artwork. So you always rent the Medusa movies and that because they had really good artwork, and then the movies were quite underwhelming. But it'd be unfair of me to rate this one, I think, man.
Yeah, well, I can do it then because I remember it's a decent film. It's a decent watch. So I'm going to stick that in CP. That's all right with you?
Go for it.
Yeah. You know what was even worse, Pete? It was computer games back in the day. The comparing the artwork to the actual games, which were like 8-bit games, but like really. But you see the artwork on the computer games on the covers. You're thinking, wow, that's gonna be the best game ever, and it's just little few pixels on the screen. That's all you get. It's like centipede and stuff. I'm like, it's just a centipede moving across the thing. Anyway,
I always remember because obviously I loved fucking E.T. I was kind of obsessed with that movie in '82 when I was a child, and I always remember fucking playing the Atari E.T. game, and what a stinker that. I've played that. What a fucking stinker that game is, man. It's just dreadful, and there was a fuckload of games out like that. I mean, basically everything was either a take on Maze with a slightly different sprite, or a take on Pong with a slightly different sprite. Video games didn't really do much back in the days, like. But yeah, disappointing, mate. Disappointing.
Yeah, I used to enjoy those text-only adventures. You used to get in the computer games, and they had a really nice artwork as well. But it's basically you just text what you want to do, where do you want to go, and once in a while they'll have a picture will come up of where you are now, and then do
you remember? Remember Granny's Garden? Granny's Garden.
Mate, that was on the BBC. I was on the BBC, that wasn't it? Yeah, I do remember that.
It's all coming back to me now. Yeah.
And next is Descender, which sounds super familiar, but I don't think I've seen it.
I don't think I've seen this one, mate. A disturbed telepathic man is unable to fully control his ability to transmit his dreams and visions into the mind of people all around him, or even influence reality.
That sounds like 100 different horror films.
It does, doesn't it? It does. But no, I've not seen this one, mate. But to be fair, I like the artwork, and IMDb giving it a 6 out of 10, mate. So it might be worth a wee watch.
Yeah, holy man. And next is Chuck Norris, Silent Rage. Have you seen that, Pete?
No, mate. And I've got a very good reason for this. I'm just not a fan of Chuck Norris. Like, I've never.
Me neither.
Yeah. Never have been. I'm looking at the cast list.
Yeah.
I hear that it's got Ron Silver in. I do like Ron Silver. Like, is he the bad guy in this?
No, he's not. But it's like Chuck Norris does slasher, and it's not very good. There's only slasher a bit at the beginning and a bit at the end. But
Right.
nah, I didn't like it one little bit. I think I watched it on the Roku channel. If you can get that on anything, P, it's on the Roku channel. No, I didn't like it one little bit. I'm gonna have to stick that in D. I know Dave likes it a bit more than me, but I'm sorry, Chuck Norris, you're no good, mate. I remember those Missing in Action movies. I remember liking those movies when I was a kid, renting them. They were like low rent Rambo films, weren't they? But and I watched it recently, and it was rubbish, man. It was so bad. It was really just.
I remember liking Invasion USA when I was a kid. I quite liked Invasion USA.
I think that might be my favorite Chuck Norris film, Invasion USA. I think that might be his best.
Yeah.
That was a canon film, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Oh, next is Superstition, mate, Pete. Now I know I like it more than you. I think more than you like it. Although I never would watch it if you hadn't talked about it first.
Oh man, I like that, mate. I like that a lot. I've revisited Superstition in the last couple of years. I like it, mate. Some of the acting's pish. In fact, quite a lot of the acting's pish. The characters are a bit drab, but the fucking kills are great in this movie. Like, the gore and the kills.
Yeah.
And it's nasty. One woman, I think, gets this big stake right through her fucking head. Which is, completely out of nowhere. It's a mean, nasty, mean little film. This. So for me, I'm going to put this as a B. A B.
Nice one, Pete. I'm glad we're on the same page, mate, Pete. And the witch, man, the witch is scary in this movie. I think the witch is proper. Like, I saw her in the water. I mean, either way.
Yeah, and the hands, fucking hands, are proper some out of a monster movie, like Xenomorph hands and that, like comes around the corner.
Yeah.
Ah, exactly. This movie was released in the UK on VHS, and apparently it did so well. They re-released it as The Witch and give it a cinema run in the UK. Did you know that? So it's the reason why
I didn't know that.
Yeah. So that's why it's got the two titles.
Yeah, I think I've seen it both as The Witch and as Superstition. Like, I remember seeing it in that, when we used to live in the White Estate, just when you go onto the Orange Estate, there's that shop on the corner. Used to rent videos. I remember seeing it in there. Yeah. And I think it was called The Witch in there. That's where I rented it. But one of the versions is the cut version. I think the cinema version is cut version, isn't it? How they cut it.
Yeah,
that was a video nasty. But it's a goodie. Nasty but goodie. Definitely. Yeah. We like Superstition. We like it a lot. So let's pick that in B then, eh?
Yeah.
Almost tempted to put it in A there, but I think B is a good place for it. Next is Swamp Thing, Pete.
I've not seen Swamp Thing, buddy. I've not seen
Swamp Thing.
No, it's a movie that just has always passed me by, man.
Is it?
I like the look of it. I like the look of everything about it, but I've just never seen it. I probably should have watched this instead of that god awful Swamp Thing TV series that was recently on. So,
I never watched that. Actually. No, I never. To be honest, I have seen the movie. Wes Craven, isn't it? And Adrian Barbeau, but I didn't like it. It's remind me of like a trauma film, like Toxic Avenger type movie, but a little bit more serious.
Okay.
And I don't like those types of movies. It wasn't my cup of tea at all, mate. Before we rank it, let's have a look at the comments. If there's any more comments. Where are we at here? Gaz says 99% of horror movies are rented back in the 1980s. I haven't seen since. Plan on doing so, though. Yeah.
What's that?
Mike says, so good Poltergeist. Yeah, man. One of the it might be my top 20 favorite horror films of all time.
Yeah.
Mike says after The Thing, obviously. There you go. Exactly.
Yeah. Agreed.
I mean, after you think of The Thing and the Poltergeist being in the same year and The Entity, you automatically think 1982. What an awesome year for horror films, isn't it? It's just on the back of those three. But you have to take all the other ones.
You're absolutely right, mate. I was surprised that when you sent over this list of movies to me, just how much shite that was actually on the list, because I had this perception that 1982 was perhaps, you know, the best year for horror movies, or, you know, or even movies that I could remember, you know, just given, you know, your Blade Runners, your E.T.s, the things and everything like that. I had it in my head that was the case, but of course, you know, the output was massive. Horror movies were being made like they were going out of fashion, and there was varying degrees of quality, right enough.
Absolutely, yeah. But it's the same with every year, Pete. Every year's like that. You have the few handful of really good ones, and then you have a lot of the ones that have just no one even remembers. They've just like fallen by the wayside, and then you have the ones that you remember watching that just aren't very good.
Yeah.
Dave says, I'll keep trying the link. I get to refresh my browser. It's telling me, I guess. Yeah, keep going on. Maybe we can sort it out for next week, mate. Mike says, I used to buy Codemasters games regardless of the covers or reviews. Yeah,
me too. I like Codemasters. Did you ever play Dizzy? Dizzy's the Dizzy games. Remember, like he was like an egg with gloves. I love Dizzy games, and Dizzy were Codemasters.
No. What sort of year are we talking about there?
I would say 86, something like that. 86 to 88, something like you were looking at Commodore 16.
When you said egg, all I could think of was Chucky Egg. When you said egg, all I could think of was Chucky Egg.
Yeah. Well, he's kind of like Chucky Egg, but yeah, Dizzy.
No, never played that one. Mike says Lords of Midnight was a great text adventure. Yeah. My favorite was on the BBC. It was called Twin Kingdom Valley, and that was awesome one. That Mike says I watched Silent Rage in a video store back in the day. How'd you like it, mate? How did you like it? Dave says the site can't ask for my permission. It says when I try to join in my StreamYard link, I don't know. I'll keep working on it, but it seems just doesn't like you, mate, for some reason. It shouldn't be that hard. It really should not be that difficult. Hassan says maybe you guys should do the average points of each film. All right, we'll add your score and my score up and divide by 2. No, I think we can negotiate a bit better than that. We're normally on the same page anyway, aren't we, Pete?
Yeah.
Dave says I got to see E.T. in the theaters 4 times back then. Most of my friends forced me the other 3 times because they didn't see it yet, and they didn't see that, and so on. Well,
I think
the only movie I've ever seen more than. Yeah. Did you watch that? You didn't see it at the cinema, did you?
Yeah, it was the first movie I ever went to see at the cinema. Yeah, my family took me because everybody was going to see E.T., so I got taken along with it. But like, I remember it was my mother, my father, my aunties, my uncles, my cousins. It was like the whole fucking clan was there, mate. Just we all went to see fucking E.T. So that was the first movie experience I ever had in a theater, and I've been in love with cinema ever since. So, you know, I've got a special place in my heart for that movie because of that. You know, if it had been a shit movie, I wonder if I'd have liked movies as much as I do these today. You know, it's weird.
Yeah, I was thinking the only movie I've ever seen more than once at the cinema was Terminator 2, as I saw twice, and Scream, which I saw 3 times. But yeah, that's the only time I watched a movie more than once at the cinema.
Fair.
I'll tell you that.
Highlander 2 I went to see a bunch of times. I don't know why.
I don't know why either. Although I like the movie, but I like it more than most. So yeah, so let's get back to this and Swamp Thing. I'm going to stick it in D because I didn't like it. It's not very good.
Okay.
It's not the most rubbish movie ever, but I didn't like it.
Yeah.
That's one thing 1980s got for it. There hasn't been any like really horrendous movies.
Oh, yeah. I see an F1 in that list, the remaining list. Don't you worry about it, Vass. That will be filled.
Oh yes. Right. Yeah. We'll get to that. Pete. Right, let's go on with the Sword and the Sorcerer, Pete. I wasn't sure whether to put this one in with the horror films, but it's got monsters in and all sorts. You know? Well, there was this and there was Beastmaster. There was this and there was Beastmaster, and I was thinking, well, Beastmaster's only a PG. So I can't be putting beat, and even though that's got like monsters in it, and it is quite scary at times. Well, I remember it being scary at times.
It is. It's got we were just talking about E.T. I remember one dude has got like all his fingers have got lights on, and he pulls your heart out with his lighty E.T. fingers in that in this movie. But I really like this movie, mate. I think it's got some cracking scenes. I love the fucking sword with like it's got 3 blades in it, shoots out blades. The fucking main hero guy is likable. He's kind of a swashbuckling. It's tonally uneven, this movie, because it goes dark. It really goes dark, and then you've got light comedy in your ear as well. But the stakes are really high. When it gets gory, it gets gory. And like I say, it's got that fucking fantastic bit of dialogue from that prisoner dude. What's on your mind, potato head? In the middle of the fucking dark ages, that's how folk talk and that. So just for that, I mean, I'm giving this very good. I really like this film. I own this film, and I watch it every now and then. So yeah, I'm going to give this very good.
Is this your favorite like sword and sorcerer type movie?
Damn right,
There's a few out in there, like Excalibur and all those ones. Well, I'll default to your thing there, Pete. I'll stick in B. I would have put it in C, but if you, I know you like it a lot, so I'll go along with you there, Pete. For sure.
Thanks, man.
Because I like you.
Oh,
Right, next is Dario Argento, Tenebrae, mate. Are you a fan of Tenebrae?
No. I've seen about 10-15 minutes of it, mate, and I don't know if I turned it off or what. I can't get away with Dario Argento movies. I don't know why. I really should like his movies, but I don't seem to. So it's weird. So I can't rate it because I think I turned it off. But I've seen about 15 minutes of it. I tell you, I did watch Dark Glasses the other night on Shudder. His new film.
How is that? I've been meaning to watch that. How is it?
Yeah, it's fucking stupid and it's bonkers. And a lot of it doesn't really make any sense. And the story's bug nuts crazy. It's this woman is blinded. She's a hooker, and when she's blind, basically the killer chases her in a car, and she has a collision with another car. She kills the parents in this car, and then befriends the boy that she's off. She's left an orphan, and the pair of them team up to catch this killer. It is fucking nuts, mate. To be fair, but it's really, really silly, and quite a lot of it is almost feels like it's written and directed by a bit of an amateur. To be honest, mate. So not good, man. It's a shame.
Mm-hmm. Well, I have seen Tenebrae. It was a while ago. It was fine. It was all right. I like some of his other movies a lot more. But if you haven't seen it all, I guess it's down to me, isn't it? So I'm going to stick it in C because I thought it was absolutely fine. Had its moments, and back in the 80s, man, even his bad movies were pretty damn good, to be honest.
Yeah. So
I'm going to stick that in C. And next we have The Boogeyman, Pete. Is that spelled right? Is that how you spell Boogeyman? It says Bogeyman there. I thought it was Boogeyman. Double O.
Right. Who stars in this movie, mate? Any idea?
I don't know. It's super low. I have no idea.
Okay.
Just type in Boogeyman 1982.
All right. Boogeyman 1982. So I'm getting the Boogeyman. I'm getting the Boogeyman button. It says 1980 with John Carradine in. Try Boogeyman.
Well, it looks like we both haven't seen it anyway, so I'll stick it in the not seen before you tell me it's a different year.
Oh no! It seems that it's there is one called mate. It might be a different year. This one. I'm not finding the 82 one. I can see a 1982 Boogeyman short based on a Stephen King short story.
Oh.
But the movie that looks very similar to that one is from 1980.
Oh, okay. Well, okay. Moving on then.
Okay.
That might be a good time to go to the comments. God damn it. Where are we at here? Okay. Oh, actually, I missed that one out. Dave says he gives E.T. a 6.5 out of a boosty 10. That's a C minus movie.
Dave,
I'm
is it
not a
near
huge fan
perfect?
of E.T. I've got to say, I think I watched it when I was growing up, but I didn't even watch it when I was a kid. It just didn't seem that interesting to me, and I watched it, and it was fine. It was all right. It was good, but we can't always have the same. I know most people love the movie, so I think me and Dave are in the minority. Dave says he got to see Descender for free in theaters back then. It has the actor who played Balrog or Balrog from Raiders of the Lost Ark. Oh, that must be Sword and Sorcerer. And he also played Ivan Ooze, is also in Descender. Oh, okay. I thought you meant that big ball guy from Sword and Sorcerer that gets splattered by the plane in Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Yeah. He gets his head filed, doesn't he? In this one, I think he puts his head on the wee spinning bit of stone. Great, love it. 7.5 out of 10 for the sender. That's should we put that in there?
B?
Yeah, let's do that. Let's do that.
That's a B, that isn't it? Let's stick that in the B.
Stick that in the B.
Yeah. I have to try and find that movie.
Yeah, definitely.
Right, the next movie is the Incubus. I've never heard of the Incubus. I've heard of the word, but not the movie.
Man, it's 1981.
What is Incubus?
Yeah, 81.
You don't have to correct me all the time, Pete. You just don't have to do it. Right, well, it's going and not seen anyway. So.
Yeah.
I'm getting these. I've got most of these off Wikipedia, man, and it says 1982, so I don't know what the fuck's going on. No idea.
Yeah, I think
Dave says I saw something in theaters as well. I saw something in theaters for free as well. I gave that an 8 out of 5 out of boosty 10. Oh, great, can't be fun. Plus, Adrian's in it. He's a B. I'm not sure what movie he's talking about there.
Swamp Thing.
Oh, Swamp Thing, right, of course.
Yeah.
As growing up, I saw a lot of these movies fall by the wayside. They were only in theaters for literally like 2 weeks. In England, a lot of these movies never even saw the light of day of a movie theater. Matthew says, great list of films. Thanks, mighty boy. Nice to see you here. Hassan said I meant for the year remove. Alright, I don't know how to get rid of it, mate. Just pretend it's not there. Don't worry.
Yeah.
Yeah. At least we haven't ranked any ones that over from the wrong year, so that's good.
No, exactly.
Dave says, including the first day it opened, I saw the original Star Wars 22 times in theatre. Then one special edition making it 23. Thanks to my father mostly. Blimey.
Wow.
I saw MI twice, including the day it opened, Return of the Jedi twice in theaters, the second time 70mm, and also the day that opened as well. I saw the Return of the Jedi when it got reissued in the late 90s. I saw Return of the Jedi, and I'm not a fan of that movie. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of Return of the Jedi. I really like Star Wars, the original Star Wars. I'm not even that big a fan of Empire Strikes Back. I find it a bit slow. Well, that's just me.
No, fair play.
Dave said I got to see Beastmaster for free in theaters as well. Of course you did, mate. Of course you did.
Yeah.
Dave says, well, wait for another movie to start. I watched about an hour or so of The Sorcerer or less in theaters. Saw the rest of it on video. I think it was, he liked it. It was okay. I think it was a really popular movie when that came out. Saw The Sorcerer.
Was it?
Yeah.
It was TV after,
it's like a hit movie. Dave says I got to see Visit Now was also from 1982 in theaters for free. God, everything came out in cinema in America, I guess. I rewatched it last year after I got out of my medical surgery and condition in March 2021, again online for free. Hope you're doing all right, Dave. Yeah. Attempt to say Visit Now is underrated because it's kind of realistic in a way. Michael Ironside plays a psycho in it, and Shatner has a small part, but it's like a kind of like a real psycho type tale. Yeah, we're coming up with that one soon. Dave said, I think I've heard of it, but never seen the movie The Incubus. Yeah, something. Yeah, got it, man. No worries. All right, the next movie is Zombie Aftermath. and I've not seen that
I've not
movie. Have you,
seen this
Pete?
one, No, I've not seen it. I like the cover though.
Yeah, me too.
Kinda
Looks like
an Iron Maiden cover.
Iron Maiden.
Yeah,
Doesn't it look like Iron Maiden cover?
Absolutely.
The Clairvoyant. Have you seen that?
I don't think so. I'm going to look this one up, mate, because I might have seen this on TV or some shit like that, I think. Let's have a look, see. Two uneasy friends, a police officer and a TV talk show host, each pursue the mysterious handcuff killer with the aid of an artist who sees and draws the killer's crimes before they are done. No, I've not seen this, mate.
Another one that sounds like any other movies.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so we'll stick that in. I've already put that in. Not seen. The Dome That Drip Blood. Now I've heard of that one, but not seen it.
Not seen
You,
it,
mate?
either, mate. No, I've not seen it.
How about The Forest?
I might have seen this one, mate. It rings a bell. Have you seen this one?
No, mate. I've seen a movie called The Forest that was out a couple of years ago with that bird from
Yeah, me too.
Game of Thrones. That wasn't very good, like.
Yeah. No, it was shite. A cannibal hermit living in the woods preys on campers and hikers for his food supply. I've got a funny feeling I have seen this, mate, back in the day, but I can't remember it at all. So I can't rate it.
Even the post art, I don't recognise it at all.
Daddy's
The House on Sorority. Yeah, The House on Sorority Row. Have you seen that, Pete?
I have seen it, mate. I remember quite liking this one. Yeah,
it's
I remember quite liking this film. Yeah, totally. I wasn't a fan of the remake. I think there was a remake and it was pish. But I quite like it, mate. It gives me the feels. I'm going to rate this as good. This one.
Yeah, I'll totally agree with you there, Pete. It's the one where they accidentally kill their sorority mother, whatever it is, isn't it? And then the son is living in the attic or something. Yeah, I've definitely seen that. The House Where Evil Dwells.
No, I've not seen
sounds familiar, but I've not seen it. No, me neither. Stick that one there. Oh, the Slayer, Pete. I think we know where that's going.
Yeah. It's going on the bottom run, F. It's a piece of shit, this film. A piece of shit.
I think the F was made for that movie.
Yeah.
Slumber Party Massacre. Are you a fan of that movie, Pete?
I don't mind it, mate. It's not a very good. I don't mind it. It's not a very good movie, mate. But I don't find it offensive or anything like that. What's I'm giving this average, mate. Average.
Is it? I would stick it in D myself, but I know a lot of people like it, so maybe C's a good place for it, mate. I know lots of people really dig this movie. Seriously, off the back of that one, I decided not to watch the other two because this one just annoyed me completely. But
I've not seen the sequels, to be fair.
Right, The Thing, mate. I think we know where that's going. Let's just
straight up there, class, mate. An absolute masterpiece.
Absolutely is. And this movie's called Tricks or Treats.
Not seen this one,
look familiar to you, Pete? Does that poster look familiar?
It looks like Chopping Mall. It looks like Chopping Mall.
Does it look like Chopping Mall? Let's have a look. Does it look like Chopping Mall? Yeah, it looks like Chopping Mall, doesn't it, Pete?
I've not seen this at all, mate. I don't think. Peter Jason, Chris Graver, and David Carradine seems to be in a lot of these movies, man. He must have been doing the rounds.
He does, doesn't he?
But no, I've not seen this movie, mate. I don't think.
Which poster do you prefer, Tricks or Treat or Chopping Mall? I've always been a fan of the Chopping Mall, although it doesn't really sell the movie correctly, does it? I mean, you wouldn't think what the movie was about when you see that. You think it's like a slasher movie,
Exactly.
And it's like totally
exactly.
Yeah. Anyway,
what year was Chopping Mall anyway, mate?
86, I believe.
Was it? Oh, right, okay. So Chopping Mall pinched the poster from Trick or Treats then.
Seems that way because it's bloody similar.
Yeah.
Can't get away from that, like. Oh crap! Have I think I might have just knocked us off the. Oh, it's back again. Nice one. Phew. Right, it's just so I've not seen that either, so we'll stick that in there. So just 3 movies left to go, Pete. And the next one is
Yeah.
Unhinged. Not the one with Russell Crowe, but
No.
a different one.
Yeah. I know of this movie. I've seen the trailer for it, but I've not seen the film for it. It looks pretty shit, to be fair, but I've not seen the movie.
And then we have Visiting Hours. Have you seen it?
I've not seen Visiting Hours, man. I haven't seen it.
Visiting Hours was the only movie I saw. Sorry, go on.
I was saying, I remember this movie. It was either previewed on Halloween 2 or on the VHS of Halloween 2. It was one of the previews on it. I remember that. It was a Thorny EMI video, I believe, Visiting Hours. I always wanted to see it, like the artwork and all that, but just never had the opportunity, man. Bassy, tell me, is it good?
Yeah, I only watched it this week because it just appeared. Like I actually found this movie and I watched it and it was okay. Michael Ironside's good in it. It's barely a horror film, I've got to say. It's more like of a thriller than a horror. Although when you read the poster, it says this movie's going to scare the hell out of you and all that. It doesn't. It's got a bit of a TV movie vibe to it. Yeah. Although it's okay, Pete. It's all
good
right.
Good poster, man. Good poster artwork there.
I agree. Yeah, and William Shatner doesn't do much in the movie either. He's just kind of just on the sidelines.
Do you know?
So I'll
last
stick
night,
that in the Steve because it's a watchable film.
Yeah. You know, last night, Ruth wanted to watch something funny. She didn't want to watch another horror film and that, so I put on Airplane 2. And fucking William Shatner and that is just fucking amazing. Blinking and flashing and flashing and blinking and blinking and flashing. That's fucking weird. It's got my favorite scene of all time in a comedy, and that's the Danger Hoover. There's a fucking side Danger Hoover, and fucking he's like that good. How's a Hoover dangerous? Like he just opens the door.
Yeah,
fucking brilliant, man. I'll piss myself.
I think I prefer Airplane 2 to the original Airplane. I think it's a funny film. Yeah,
it's great. It's great. Like,
yeah, it's a cracking film. That.
Are we on the?
Is that 1982? Is Airplane 2 1982?
I think it is.
I
think it is. Yeah.
And the last one, Pete, is Extra, which I haven't seen still. So it's up to you, Pete.
Okay. Listen, this film has its merits, and the merits being that it's got some actually quite good special effects for a British low budget horror film from the early 80s. There, its merits. It's what it does with them that doesn't float my boat. It's another movie of 1982 that starts off with somebody getting raped. This time, getting raped by an alien. The alien gives her a scene. I think the alien melts after raping her. She wakes up in the kitchen and her belly just gets really big, really fat, and she gives birth to a fully grown fucking man that rips his way out of her, that bites his own umbilical cord off, and obviously leaves this woman in bits. It's a ferocious little movie when it wants to be, this one, and there's an au pair that works for the main family, and the alien uses her as a womb in this movie. It's just really, really bloody nasty, this film. Like this film fucking traumatized me. I was far too young to see this film. I was far too young. I think it was about maybe 9 or 10 year old when I saw this film, and it fucked me over, man. Now I've never revisited it. Just because I remember how bad it made me feel when I first watched it.
So how long do you think it's been since you've seen this movie then?
So after a good 30 years at least. We're on my 46, so 36 years. 36 years. Well, I still remember it vividly, mate. I still remember the scenes vividly. There's a scene with a big 6-foot blooming action man with a sword that comes into a room. It's a very bizarre scene. And kills this granny through the bed, and this blood gurgling. It's I don't like this film, mate, because it fucked me up when I was a kid. So I'm putting this right in the bottom. This is going with the Slayer for me. Maybe I'm being a little bit unfair on it, but it's in there with the Slayer. Ugh.
You get your revenge on the movie, Pete. There you go.
Yeah,
traumatizing you.
Exactly.
Right. So that's all 50-something movies. A couple of them, unfortunately, were the wrong year, but they went in not seen, so it doesn't matter. Forget about that. So let's go through the comments, and then we'll top these up and get ourselves a score, and then we're off to the races then, Pete, and we'll have something to compare it to next week.
Yeah.
Let's have a look here. Hassan says, Vast, why don't you try using the background feature in one of your streams? I'll work on that, mate. I will work on that. Dave says, I had a heart attack, triple bypass, a new heart valve put in, and diabetes, one punchline, all in the same day due to family genetics and bad habits combined. Since then, I'm doing okay. Wow.
Look after
That's
yourself,
rough, man, Dave. That is rough.
Yeah.
Dave says, I've never heard of the clairvoyant. Probably could have done with the clairvoyant before all that stuff happened. Dave says, I haven't seen the original House and Sorority Raw. Yeah. It's pretty recent. I think I picked it up last year when I got all those cheap DVDs from the charity shop that was closing down. I got like 200 DVDs, and that was one of them. Dave says, as previously mentioned, I got to see the remake of Cat People and The Thing in the drive-in, thanks to my dad and a friend too.
That's awesome.
Dave says, I think I saw Trick or Treat a long time ago, but I vaguely barely remember much about it. Yeah, I've never heard anybody mention Trick or Treat when they're talking about Halloween movies. Just those other Trick or Treat movies. No one's ever mentioned that I know of that movie, which is strange. Dave says, I haven't seen that Unhinged. No, I don't think many people have. Dave says, I also got to see both airplanes in the theaters. Lovely too.
Was it for free?
He's got a projectionist friend, man. Of course it was. Dave says, I didn't know Airplane 2 was made by different creators in the first one until semi-recently. Really? I thought it was it's got the same vibe as the first one. Completely.
Yeah, totally. I didn't know that either.
Extra, I'll give it a C here, 6 out of 10. Just too much silliness going on, even for my taste and strangeness.
It's very silly.
Mike says, fantastic stream, lads. Oh, thanks, man.
Bit.
Looks like we're going to end in plenty of time for your stream, mate. If anyone's watching, Mike's got stream starting at 11 with Savage Zombie reviews. You should go ahead and check that out. But before I do that, like my stream, please. I would appreciate it. And give us a thumbs up and all that business. Matthew says, I've seen Extra when I was a kid in 1984. Me too. Watch it this year. The effects is still great. Yeah. Dave says, no, actually, though, I paid to see for both airplane movies. There you go. Just paid to go to the movies.
I bet you had a face like thunder that day, Dave. I bet you had a face like thunder. You were like, fuck on. How much? Oh.
Right, Pete, have you... there's one there, hang on. Dave, meant to deeply thank you, my love, for liking my Instagram and following me on there too, guys. Thank you so much. You're entirely welcome, mate. It's a pleasure. It's an absolute pleasure, mate. Right, Pete, have you got a calculator with you, mate?
Have I got a what?
I've got a calculator available.
A
calculator on your PC or anything, or on your phone?
Yeah, on my phone. I'm just getting it up. 2 seconds.
All right, so in the S tier, we've got 5 movies. That's 5, 10, 15, 20. Yeah. So you need 25.
Yep.
Add 3.
Yep.
Only one A tier movie in 1982. Is that not weird?
That's weird.
That is weird. So yeah, so it was 25, add 3, and then add 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Add 10.
Yep.
Add 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Add 14.
Yep.
And minus 2. And what do we get?
Okay. We get 50.
50.
Grand total of 50. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
50-50. So if we go back to our old scoreboard, so that's not bad. First place was 70. Second place was 57. or 62 if you count Aliens. So it would be in third place, 50 points.
Yeah.
1982 is in third place, which yeah,
not bad.
that's good, man.
Yeah,
It's not bad.
that's not bad at all.
I'm half thinking I might go back to one of these years at some point because I've seen a bunch more movies since last year, and between the two of us, I'm sure there'll be a lot more movies we can go through and get a more accurate
I'd be up for
point
that.
score.
Yeah, I'll tell you what.
Yeah.
I would be interested in revisiting your 1991, mate, because I'm just racking my brains here. I'm thinking, right, okay, 1990. So you had Exorcist 3, you had Scream. Is that right? Scream 1990.
Scream 1996.
Oh, sorry. So what? Right, Exorcist 3, 1990. Predator 2,
Tremors.
you mentioned.
Predator 2, Tremors. Misery.
Misery.
I forgot now. I went through them all as well. What else was 1990? There was Jacob's Ladder.
Jacob's Ladder. Fair enough. So
there's a bunch more. Well. Arachnophobia. Arachnophobia was 1990.
Yeah, fair enough.
But trust me, there's a bunch of. I think I had 7 ST movies in 1990. So yeah, that was a really good year.
Good year, definitely.
Yeah, maybe we will go back to 1990 and see if it still stays at 70. The question is, Pete, what year are we going to do next? Do you have any ideas of a year that you think might be a good year? I don't know. We can do 1983 next if you want. I don't know.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Yeah, let's do 83. Let's do it. Have you done 84 yet?
Nah.
Don't know why, but I remember 84 being a good year. But let's do 83, and we'll get to 84. But yeah, let's do
85, 81, 2016, 86. Yeah, so I've done 85 and 86.
Right.
I've done 81. So we're missing 83 and 84.
Let's do it. Let's plug the gaps, man.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah, but the crack is we can't just go through all the 80s straight away. We should move around a bit and get a bit of diversity in there. Maybe you stick a 1979 or something. Maybe try that, or I don't know.
Yeah,
got all the 90s, all the 2000s, all the 2010s. But yeah, should we do 1983 then next?
Let's do 1983. 1983. Yeah. And then at some point in the future, can we do 78? I feel that 78 was a good year. 78.
Okay, right.
Yeah.
Okay, so moving forward, we'll do. Yes, and we'll do 1983. What are we saying next week?
Yep.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
So next week we're going to do 1983, and then the week after, or maybe a couple of weeks after, we'll do whenever the next one is on. We'll do 1978. So that's the next 2 in the bag. That's good. That'll give me time to make these tier lists. Yeah, if you go on to my Twitter, which is Vastman, Horror Lives Matter, something like that. I've got links to all my tier lists, all the ones from season 1 are all there. You're welcome to go over there and have a go and see what scores you come up with yourselves. I'd be interested to see if anyone had any higher or lower marks than what I did. But yeah, man, these things are really fun. I really enjoy doing these. This is one of the first things I did when I started the channel was I just saw a video doing it. I thought that looks like fun, and then now I can make my own. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with that, Pete. So 50, 50 is 1982 is 50. Were you thinking it's going to be higher or lower? What were you thinking?
What, for 83?
Yeah, no, 1982. I'm saying the final score was 50. I mean, we expect it to be higher, or we
to be honest with you, mate, before I would have thought it would have been higher. I would have thought 82. I had a feeling 82 might have been the best year for horror movies, but perhaps I was thinking in the back of my mind of just movies, not horror movies, just movies.
Yeah,
just with the amount of quality content that was out there in 82. So I had a feeling that we'd get more than 50 out of it, but that's not the case, mate. That is not the case. And the proof's there. On screen, there were a lot of duds, and there were a lot of movies that just came, vanished, disappeared. That we didn't get to see.
Yeah, totally, man. So looking at this tier list, the final look, are you happy with where everything is? So we've got Creepshow, Halloween 3, Poltergeist, The Thing, and The Entity in S tier. A tier is Amityville 2, The Possession.
I didn't add that. Did you add The Entity when you give me the numbers?
Did, yeah. Yeah,
all
I
right,
did.
fine.
I did, I remember.
Okay.
And then B tier was Alone in the Dark, Basket Case, Superstition, Sword and the Sorcerer, and The Sender. Thanks to Dave. And C tier was Beast Within, Butcher Baker, Nightmare Maker, Cat People, Death Trap, Friday the 13th Part 3, Madman, Deadly Eyes, One Dark Night, Pieces, Q the Winged Serpent, Tenebrae, House and Sorority Row, Slumber Party Massacre, and Visit Nowers. And they're not very good. Was Humongous, what's it called again? New York Ripper, Next to Kin, Silent Raid, Swamp Thing. And the very worst of the year is The Slayer and Extra.
Yeah, I'm in agreement with that, mate.
Yeah, cool, man. I remember last year when I was doing it, I did shift some around a bit at the end. But yeah, I'm pretty happy with the way everything is.
Me too.
It's a lot easier when you can talk through it as you're doing it.
Yeah, absolutely. It's I still like I say, watching Butcher Baker Nightmare Maker this week was I had a good time with it, mate. But like I said, it was just comedy. That I'll never get over that woman. I need a man. Not this man. You can do anything you want to me. I was like, oh God, what the hell, man? Oh, yeah, great. But good film. Did they ever make a sequel, mate, or anything like that to that movie?
I have no idea. I don't think so, mate. I don't think so.
It's bonkers. It's absolutely bonkers. So I'm pleased I got to see that this week. That was probably my movie of the week, to be fair.
Right, so let's get through these comments, and I think we're all done. That was great, man. Let's have a look here. Dave says, I'll definitely try to join in next week. I don't know why my browser is being picky. Maybe I don't know. He said I have to check all the apps. I have no other apps running. Hopefully I'll figure it out. Yeah, just keep at it, mate. Hassan says, guys, instead of using total points to rank the films, you should do average to make it fair on year with no films you've seen. I don't know. I kind of feel like my ranking kind of works because it doesn't matter what year you do, you're going to have a bunch of movies you haven't seen anyway, so it's all going to balance out at the end.
Yeah.
Dave says, I said before I hung out with a projectionist friend from like 81 to 89 most of the time. Not all the time, but a lot of the time.
I would have.
Dave says, I'm down with any year of movies. Yeah. I'm down with any year of movies. I also saw a whole bunch of movies from 83 is what I found out this time researching 82 previously to the stream again. Yeah. Mike says, later, lads. See you there, Mike. Mike says, I'm going to steal this idea of us. You go ahead, mate. You're welcome to use my tier list if you want. It's got one or two mistakes, but you know what those mistakes are now, so you're welcome to do it, mate. Dave says, tempt to say that 80 was the best year for horror of modern times. Yeah, we haven't done 80 yet, but we'll definitely get there. We can have The Shining in there and The Changeling and The Fog. There's three S-tier movies right there, methinks. Dave says, tempt to say 80 was the best year for horror of modern times. You might well be right. It just depends what else is there.
Yeah.
Dave says, luckily I re-mentioned The Entity. Lol, yeah, I can't believe I left that off as well. That was one of the ones that was really like in my head when I first started doing it.
Yeah.
But then just went. So San says average for this year is 1.61 points per film. Okay.
All right, okay.
Do that for us next week, mate. Yeah. And we'll see. But it doesn't really seem right when you think, The Thing, 1.61 points per film. You can't be having that with The Thing in there, can you?
No.
And Poltergeist. No. So, right, folks, thank you very much for joining us. That was episode 1 of the best year in horror. We're moving now. So next week, it's almost next year, but next week we're going to be doing 1983, and we'll see where we get to with that one. I think I'm trying to think of some movies from 1983, dude. I can't think of anything. It was I speak 1983 for. I think David Cronenberg, Videodrome was 1983. That's one movie that's right up there from 1983.
Good,
We'll see.
Yeah.
I think Amityville 3D was 1983, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
maybe.
I've not seen that. I might check that one out for next week because I've not seen it.
All right, okay. I think I did back in the day. It's all right. All right.
Might be worth a rewatch or not, as the case may be.
Yeah.
So I'll get to his last couple of comments and then we'll sign off. It's great fun again, guys. It was nice to have you here again, Dave. I appreciate it. And Dave says the movie Mausoleum, Metal Storm, Destruction, Jared, Sin, Megaforce, etc. Okay. And Amityville 3D, all 1983.
Oh, Mausoleum. Oh, I just rewatched Mausoleum. There you go. Happy days.
Yeah.
So I can definitely talk about at least one. It is.
That's a crap movie, that.
It really is.
You know, Mausoleum is weird. The first couple of minutes of Mausoleum, it's like really moody atmospheric shot of them going through a graveyard. You thought, oh, this is going to be a good film, this. And then it starts and it's so bad, man. Anyway.
Do you know what it is?
She's got the green eyes, isn't she?
Yeah. It's a booby movie. That's what it is. I watched it again. It was like any excuse for the main starlet to get her boobies out. That was it. It was a booby movie, man.
And he got a theatrical release, apparently. Dave says got a theatrical release. He saw it for free in the theaters, and those are the movies mentioned too. Yeah. So so stay tuned for episode 2. And at the end of this season, we would have gone through a bunch more years, and we're going to get closer to the answer. What is the best year in horror ever? Anything you want to say, Pete, before we sign off?
Just thank you again for having me, Vas. It's a real pleasure for me. And if you guys listening can share this with your friends and get them to subscribe to Vas's channel as much as you possibly can, that would be fantastic.
It would, yeah. I could do with the views. Thank you very much. So thanks, people. We'll see you next week. Same time, same channel, 1983. It's going to be a good one. All right, folks. Take care.